Well, it's got to Christmas and this lot are in the Champions League. Can we emulate what the big man did here and get them into European football? It's going to be a tall order, but can we get Nottingham Forest into the top four? Or even a European place would do, surely, at this stage. Yes, we know that Forest are flying high and they are doing wonders at the moment, but it is going to be a tall order to get them to stay there. It is massive. They're playing above all season expectations, as it says there, in second place at Christmas. It is bonkers. Yes, they've been up there before, but with this team, will we be able to do it? The question is, when you look at this squad, if we just have a quick look. Wing play, because they do like to play with the wingers in like that sort of formation in it, and have a quick pick. What does it say? Maybe, but is there any money to spend to buy any? But wage budget, over the wage budget, so there's no money to spend. They'd have to sell to get anybody in, and as it stands at the moment, I wouldn't want to go fiddling around too much with this squad because it is pretty good. Chris Wood probably needs to be starting. If we actually look at the tactics and look at it and go, maybe that formation. I think, where is he? Gibbs White. Yeah, he likes to play there, doesn't he? Yeah. Hudson-Odoi. There's some really good players here, isn't there? But I think we just need to have a little bit of twinkle around with how we look. Currently second after 19 games. Liverpool obviously are 8 points clear. We know that. It's not going to be easy to do that at all. But the gap between... You could easily see Forest falling out of this, but you could also see a nice little run where Forest would continue. With United in 14th. Man City is still up there, they're going to come, and they surely you'd think after Christmas they're going to come into the new year through January. Schedule-wise for the fixtures, have a look. Wolves, Liverpool, Southampton, Bournemouth. So they've got a nice little run there. But to end it, look, there's relegation fodder here. West Ham, Leicester, Palace, Spurs. Yeah, we always have a little dig at Spurs. But Man United are down there as well. Villa, and then Chelsea on the final day. So what we'll do, we'll have a little tweak around, see what we can come up with, and see what players we can maybe offload in January. I'll have a little tweak and see what we can do. I don't think there's a lot we can do. And as it stands, we couldn't. We couldn't do anything in January. We couldn't sort any players out. Nothing was going on. Didn't really want to upset the apple cart with the squad. So what we've done, we've simulated through all of the games. We've gone through all the fixtures and see where we come up end of the season. Now, the first game back was the FA Cup against Lincoln and a 7-1 win. Chris Wood with 4 goals in this game. Absolutely lovely stuff. We then followed that up away at Wolves, a 2-1 victory. Liverpool, unfortunately, a 1-0 defeat. Southampton, a 3-1 win. Fantastic stuff. And then we had Fulham in the FA Cup. Away at Fulham, unfortunately, were knocked out, a 2-1 defeat. And then things started getting a little bit more difficult. Brighton, a 1-1 draw. Bournemouth, a 0-0 draw. Fulham, a 0-0 draw. Newcastle, a 2-2 draw. Arsenal, a 1-0 defeat. Bitter, bitter pill, this one. We really were in this game, and we gave them a good game, but we just could not get a goal. We then had Manchester City, a 1-1 draw. Again, another game. Chris Wood scoring after 7 minutes was looking good, but unfortunately not enough. And then Ipswich, this really was a dent, a real dent. Ipswich winning 3-0, Sells going off injured in it as well. It was not ideal. We then followed that up with a 3-1 loss at home to Man United, and then away to Villa, a 4-0 defeat. Things are starting to go rather wrong, and at the wrong time as well. Not what you need. We've got 7 games to go in the league. Can we change our fortunes? Yes, slightly. A 0-0 draw at home to Everton, and then a 3-3 draw with Spurs. How on earth do you get a 3-3 draw with Spurs, you say? Well, an 84th minute equaliser to make it 3-2 it was. Then we equalised on the 94th minute. Elliot Anderson popping in the goal. And then Brentford a 1-0 loss. It was just a disaster. Literally, this game, what a game. Again, all over them, but we lost Moreno and Ramon Sousa to injuries in this game. Not ideal, not ideal. That then cost us, because in the next game against Palace, it was a 2-1 defeat. And I was thinking, we still were hanging on by the coattails to European football. And lo and behold, that man Chris Wood pops up with 2 goals against Leicester City, and we're back in with a shout. West Ham, a 1-1 draw. We need to win the final game of the season to secure a place in Europe. Oh yes, indeed. A 2-1 win. Both goals inside the first 20 minutes. Chelsea had no response till the 82nd minute. We then are in it. We are in Europe. Yes, we are. We're 6th in the table. Fantastic stuff. A point ahead of Spurs. Spurs miss out. Chelsea as well. They were the same. We had to beat them, and we did it. 2-1 victory. They finish on 56. We're on 57. 5 points gap between us and Villa. So Champions League places were actually 8 points behind in the end, and we end up with a goal difference of -1. But as it stands, that was how it ended up. Squad-wise, if we look at the goals, Chris Wood hitting 11, and then it's just a bit of a damp squib in behind. Elliot Anderson popping in with 5 and 2 assists. Pretty good. Morgan Gibbs-White, 5 assists and 3 goals. Now, I know he's good, but my goodness me, it just wasn't quite his season. Only a 6.81. Not really what I was expecting. Hudson-Odoi, he was fine, but then was out injured for literally the whole of the rest of the season. Achilles tendon, he only ended up playing 5 games. Absolutely crazy stuff. But our player of the year was Chris Wood. Chris Wood, he ended up getting injured as well towards the end of the season with shin splints. I thought that was a young man's thing, but he's 32 now. But he did pop in with those 7 goals in the Premier League, 19 starts. It's just, the boy is an absolute beast. But the main thing was European football, and we are successful. We are back in Europe. We're back on the hot seat, and I'm loving it. Well, thank you very much for watching. Not quite Champions League, but at least we're in European football. We will be in the Conference Plate, is it? I think it is, they call it these days. 6th place. I thought it might have been higher, but at least we're back in Europe. If we win that, go into the Europa League next season, building blocks and all that stuff, finances for the club. They've got 10 million quid. There's plenty of money floating around. Maybe a little bit of money coming in from elsewhere, and maybe sell a few fringe players. And I think that Forest really could go from strength to strength. But thank you very much for watching, boys and girls. I hope you've enjoyed these little bit of a play around thing, experiments, all good fun. And we'll see you next time out. Liverpool winning the league by 11 points. Yeah, I can see that happening. See you next time. Thank you very much. Goodbye.